So we see different levels of sustainability goals for different countries. For instance, countries like Singapore, where they've committed by 2050, they want to become carbon neutral, and some other countries standing much more stronger on their sustainability commitment. However, there is still a long way for some other countries in Asia. So I would say different countries, they have different aspirations, but some of the biggest, China, India, Malaysia, Indonesia, have a good sustainability commitment, and they are taking this into account by bringing more renewables in their portfolio. So the biggest players on I would say renewable power in the region is Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia is starting in a big way. So in Southeast Asia, these are the 4 countries. China and India, I think they have had a huge growth on renewables, but this year we see a drop in the renewable on solar side in China and India as compared to the previous year. In the past, they were primarily driven by a lot of support from the government in terms of rebates and all those things. Those rebates have gone out. So it's a correction. I think it's a healthy correction which will come, and at some point of time it will pick up. The commitment from both the countries with respect to increasing the renewable mix in their overall portfolio is extremely high. But with the drop in prices of renewables, I think they are now leaving it to the industry to bring up the demand. I think the region needs to start looking at microgrid as an excellent solution, because the cost of generating power and bringing it to the last mile, to the last consumer, can be extremely expensive. It's not a dense consumer base. So they need to start looking at microgrid, which is a combination of renewables, some kind of conventional power, either diesel or gas, or could be coal, combined with energy storage. This would be the best fit for Asia. So the transmission and distribution network for evacuating all this power which is being generated needs to be upgraded as well, because there's a lot of capacity addition which is happening, and if this capacity addition is not, I would say, matched with equivalent upgrade in the transmission and distribution network, it will not work. What the region can also do is, because considering the surplus power in some countries and deficient power in some other countries at different times of the time of the year, they could start looking at if there is possibility of doing transmission between regions and different countries. So to ensure that the renewable energy has the same kind of sustainable power, availability and reliability as compared to the conventional. I think the way the battery energy storage can be conceptualized, what kind of solution that they are looking. So imagine if you are a power producer, you're producing 100 megawatt, and the load demand on your network is only 80 megawatt, which means you're overproducing 20 megawatt. And since you can't use that energy for any other purpose, it's being wasted. You could have energy storage which could act as a storage device at that particular point of time. And when you have increased demand at some point of time, you could use that and then utilize that particular power. So there are multiple uses of energy storage. It could be used as a buffer. It could be used for peak loading, and it could be used as a backup to renewables. So there are multiple uses of it, and identifying and finding the right mix of doing that would be the key. I think we are seeing a shift. In the past, when they were talking to us, they were coming to us and saying, hey, this is the capacity of power plant that I need, either on a coal-based or a gas-based. We are seeing them asking more and more questions with respect to, hey, what else could be done? And we're also seeing customers who are not power producers but consumers and looking for their own captive power consumption via microgrid. So there is an interesting discussion happening with customers. So we have extreme cases. We have customers who are talking to us for 100 megawatts, say, energy storage, and then we have customers who are wanting to have just a solar rooftop. We have a customer in US, JP Morgan, with whom we are doing work with them of maybe few thousand of their sites and ATM centers all being powered up with renewable energy.